This is my 2013 R56 Mini Cooper S Hardtop. I have owned this car for 2 months and 13 days, and I have put 2,598 miles on it so far. Today, I'm going to be doing an ownership review of a 2013 Mini Cooper S R56. Now, my particular car here is finished in pepper white with all the black accents. All these black trim pieces are aftermarket, and you can see some of the plasti dip is wearing off. That's from the previous owner. It's just how I bought it. So I think the black trim makes this particular car look better, but a lot of them do look good with the chrome trim. I've also installed these vinyl Angry Eye lids on it from Kill All Chrome, and these Enki EDR9 as my winter wheels and tire setup. We have some Bridgestone Blizzaks on there for the tires. This is a 1.6 liter turbocharged inline 4 that makes around 181 wheel horsepower. Now, though that number may not sound like a lot, this thing is quick and very fun. We will take it for a drive later, don't worry. But yeah, it's an amazing car, front wheel drive. And this is the N18 variation of the engine. There is an N14 that was, I think, 2007 to, I want to say, 2010. And then 2011 they switched over. And this is the supposedly more reliable engine. Now, so far I have had zero mechanical issues with this thing. But as I said, I've only had it for like 2.5 months, more or less. But this is, as I said, supposed to be the more reliable engine. The back is extremely dirty right now. I mean, as I said, I've put over 2,000 miles on this thing. Center exit dual exhausts, nice grille on the back here, Cooper S badging. Overall, I think it's a really good looking car. We have a decent amount of storage going on back here when the seats are folded up. You can see I've got some detailing stuff and a wire and a brush and the bag for my tripod and some other things, a mechanics manual and some other stuff going on back here. You fold the seat down right there and just push, and it opens up quite a bit of extra room in the back, and it is very nice. As I've said, I drive it a lot, so it is very dirty in here, floor mats and everything. It's also winter time, so it's bound to be a lot more dirty. But this thing is a 6-speed manual. I have the E46 M3 ZHP shifter on there, black trim on the steering wheel, and it has an aftermarket head unit. It's also hard to see, but I installed these little projector light puddle lights to replace the OEM ones. That was an easy install, also from Kill All Chrome. This particular one has 128,174 miles on it. This is the aftermarket head unit I have. It's turned off right now because if it connected to my phone and the microphone wouldn't work. You have a gas gauge there, all your warning lights. It has automatic climate control, heated seats, your window switches are here in the center, tachometers here, as well as a digital speedometer. Usually the speedometer is here in the center, but since this one has an aftermarket, it's not. I have found once you get up to like highway speeds, or more like kind of 50 and up, the digital speedometer it ranges from like 3 to 5 miles per hour. It usually says you're going faster than you actually are, so like 80 is more like 75 and stuff like that. But if you just kind of learn it, then it's not that difficult to work with. You have these really nice leather seats that need a vacuum, but they are very comfortable and support you well. Back seat space is very minimal. If you move this seat up, you can fit maybe a small person back there. I've brought some friends around back there, but other than that, I don't use them a whole lot other than storing coats and stuff. We have one glove box here. We have the OEM shift knob that comes on these. As I said, I replaced it with a M3 one. And then you also have this panel that opens up, and you have another little storage compartment there. Without further ado, I think we should take it for a drive, and I'll give a review of the driving experience, and maybe we can get some revs and stuff. So there is a decent amount of room in here. I am 6'1", maybe 6'2", and as you can see, I'm a big guy, and I have plenty of room. Pedal box, I will say, is a little bit small. When I first got the car, I always had to make sure I was pressing the right pedal because they're all kind of close together, at least for someone like me who has big, size 12 feet. But yeah, no, this thing's great. Seats are comfortable. Ride obviously will be a bit stiff. I have the S version of the car, so it's more performance based for the engineering. And I also upgraded to 17-inch wheels, and it is on run flat snow tires. So you really feel the road, all those potholes and stuff. But overall, like as I said, I've taken it on some pretty long drives, and it's been bearable. Once you get toward the end, it gets a bit tiring, but overall, it's not that much of an issue. And the gearing is really smooth. This is a 6-speed manual transmission, and it's really easy to shift the gears. The pedals have good weight to them. And yeah, cabin noise might be something you guys are wondering about. There is a decent amount of cabin noise. There's not a whole lot of sound deadening going on. But again, you get used to it. It's kind of like a driver's focus car, so the sound of like the road isn't your main concern. Exhaust, it doesn't really drone that much. This is on a stock exhaust system. I do want to upgrade to the Borla catback exhaust system at some point. But you know, it sounds great, especially for stock. And yeah, I can't complain. It's an amazing driving experience, handles insanely well. The vehicle is very controlled, very responsive, and as I said, even though it has only 181 horsepower, it is very quick. I'll do some accelerations and stuff for you guys here in a little bit. But yeah, no, it's one of the best driving experiences I've had for sure. Now, it does have a sport mode button. It's right down in front of the shifter. And basically what that does is it makes the steering and the accelerator pedal a little bit more responsive, and then it also opens up the exhaust a little bit, so you get a bit of better tone, and then there's also some crackles and some pops. I'm going to try and get some clips of that for you guys in a little bit. If not, I do have some clips that I filmed a while back that'll demonstrate that, if you want to hear that exhaust note. For now, I am going to turn the camera around, and you'll just get some dash cam-ish footage of me driving along this kind of windy road here in Michigan. So yeah, let's go do that. So I'm just kind of cruising in 5th gear right now. We're going about 60 miles an hour. And yeah, everything's going pretty smoothly. I do wish there wasn't a bunch of slow traffic in front of me. That would be handy, but we're gonna do a quick little acceleration here. I'm in sport mode, so yeah, here goes nothing. Not gonna launch it, but 40, 50, 60, 70, 75. Back into kind of a little bit of a windy part of this road. Not a whole lot of one, but you know, it's also wintertime, so I'm not trying to be a rally driver here right now. But yeah, as you can see, it's pretty quick. It's fun to drive, and it's my favorite car that I've driven. To be fair, I haven't driven a whole lot of cars, as I am only 16. But you know, this thing's a lot of fun. It's my first car. I think it's a great first car if you're a car guy. I think for the normal person, it's not a great first car, just because, you know, it's stiff and not the most comfortable ride, and it's there's a lot of cabin noise and all that, and they aren't super well known for their reliability, but you know, if you're a car guy and you like that kind of driver-focused stuff and you're looking for something cheap, then I think an R56 Mini Cooper is great. I haven't driven any of the other Mini Coopers, so I don't really know I have anything to say on that front, but the R56 is awesome. In terms of how much I paid for this, my dad actually paid for it. So this is a 2013. It had 125,600-ish miles when we bought it. It had all the service work it needed done, and we ended up paying $5,000 for it. And it was kind of low on the market. Most of them are like 7,000 or 8,000, especially for the newer ones like this. You can get probably an 08 or 09, maybe probably an automatic transmission for 4 or 5 usually. But yeah, they kind of range from, I want to say, like 4.5 up to 9 at the most for a really nice one. So they're relatively affordable to buy. It does take premium 91 octane or 93 octane, I forget. It takes premium. And kind of here in Southwest Michigan, I usually kind of fill it up when there's about a quarter tank left, so I usually put in about 10 gallons. I think it's a 13-gallon tank, I want to say. But I usually put in 10 gallons, and it's usually around $40, give or take $5. So that's just here with Michigan's gas prices. Obviously, if you live somewhere else, then I don't really know what the pricing is like on that. But yeah, it's usually about $40 to fill up the tank. And as I said, I've done quite a bit of driving in this, so I usually have to fill up at least once a week, if not more. But you know, if you don't drive a whole lot, then gas shouldn't be an issue. I usually get, I want to say, 200 to 230 miles on a full tank. If that's highway driving, you'll probably get closer to like 250. And I think sport mode does eat up some of your gas as well. But yeah, a little rolling acceleration here. That was about 60 miles an hour. That was in sport mode, so a little bit more responsive than it normally would be. But yeah, no, this thing's quick. ABS just kicked in there. It's got a really good ABS system. This thing does really well in the snow, especially for being front wheel drive. You do gotta get the winter tires for it. But yeah, no, it performs great. I drove this one day, and then I drove my mom's Subaru Crosstrek, which is all-wheel drive, after. And a few things I noticed were that obviously this one is a little bit harder to get traction on acceleration, just because you don't have all 4 of those wheels going at the same time. But other than that, this feels a lot more controlled in the snow. And yeah, it's just an amazing car for all seasons. It does well. Manufacturer claims it can drive into up to a foot of water. I'm not going to test that, but you know, that's manufacturer claimed. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, great in the snow. I've driven on some dirt roads, it performs well. Highway, it performs well. Regular roads, it does great. Stop and go traffic, obviously it's a manual, so it can be a little tedious sometimes, but it's a pretty easy manual to learn. And yeah, overall, great car. Let's see if I can get a few sound clips for you guys. We're here in a parking lot now, so I can get a few revs and stuff going for you. One more thing I want to mention is that there are 2 sun visors on the driver's side, one for the side of your eye and one for the front. It's not the case on the passenger side. They only have one and then a handle there. Again, my apologies for how dirty it is. I just didn't want to spend money on a car wash. First, we're going to do a few revs with sport mode off. That was up to about 3,500 RPMs. Now, let's turn sport mode on. 100 RPMs. I got it before passing, I think. But yeah, there's a few sound clips for you. Overall, I love this thing. I think it is a great car. It's a great car for a car guy if you're looking for something cheap to get into the kind of the fun driver-focused sports cars. This thing is great. European front-wheel drive. Yeah, it's great. If you're just like a normal person looking for a daily commuter, I probably wouldn't recommend it. I mean, you could look into the automatic transmission, non-turbo one, and I don't know. There's also the Countryman, which is a bigger four-door kind of crossover SUV, and the Clubman, which is more of a wagon. It's great. The only thing I can't do is carry a family around. So if you have a family, it's also not a great car. But other than that, if it's just you or you and a partner and you're looking for a cheap sports car, I think this is a great option. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, drop a like, and go follow me on my Instagram.